start with anyone who wants to speak in opposition of it. And that's where half the audience was. Did you read there for that? Remember that? We had 2 councilmen or 3.
Yeah.
And they were all against it.
Oh,
And we voted for it anyway. I remember that. But, you know, one time I changed the rules. So I'm not doing that again. And I always got to remind myself to say, and anyone in opposition, because we did have one dissenting vote. That hasn't happened very often. Unless I know about it. You know, usually you can tell by the way the conversation goes. By the way, while we're all talking, before we start, can everybody hear us back there? Good? Okay.
oh, really?
That mic is on.
Yeah, Mike's
So we
on.
already, is any, Rick, he's tested it, so he's good. Because I got it 7 o'clock.
Well, his face is not showing.
Because he said he was on his phone.
Thanks, John. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the October 26th Warsaw Board of Zoning Appeals meeting. We're going to start with Rick, approval of the minutes.
Mr. President, I have read the minutes, and if there's no further questions or comments, I move to approve them.
So moved.
Second?
Seconded Dan. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone in opposition? Johnny, any unfinished business, sir?
No unfinished business.
We'll get on with the evening. 2020-1001, 513 North Ellsworth Street. Johnny, would you give us the facts, please?
The petitioner has requested a variance from development standards to allow a 3-foot setback as opposed to the required 6-foot side setback. The setback would be on the northern property line. The building would be the new building would be an addition to the existing home. See attachment 1 for the plans provided by the petitioner. The neighboring parcel is a parking lot owned by Zimmer Inc. The houses in the neighborhood have a variety of setbacks, with some below the minimum 6 feet in the ordinance. 3 feet setbacks allow for the 6-foot total fire separation required by the building code if the northern lot is ever to be built upon. The recommendation. This variance would not conflict with the comprehensive plan, nor would it impede on the ability for future buildings in the neighborhood. It is the opinion of the planning department that this case could be viewed favorably.
Thank you, Johnny. Any questions or comments from the board? I had one. The parking lot for Zimmer, is that being used? I noticed there wasn't any cars on it on the photo.
It seems sometimes used, not a high usage though, just from what we've seen.
How far is it from any particular structure? I just wonder, that could be at some point turned into valuable land. That's why I was wondering if somebody could eventually build on that.
Correct. So the 3-foot setback applied for allows for someone else on the other, if that property were to be developed into something else, allows for someone to build also with a 3-foot setback, which is what our accessory structure code requires. That way there would still be that 6 feet
There would be
total
just
of fire
6
separation required.
That's the only question I had. Anyone else?
So to answer your question, Tom, if you add up the dimensions, it'd be 18 feet from the existing house to the property line.
Okay. That's certainly within the safe zone. We'll open it to the public. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak in favor or on the phone of this petition? Yes, ma'am. Come on forward, please. If you are going to speak either in favor of or in opposition, please come to the podium. We'll allow you to take your mask off because we're all socially distanced. And give us your name, please.
My name is Gloria Saldivar, and I'm the resident that lives at the property.
Okay. Nice to meet you, Gloria.
Nice to
Welcome.
meet you. And we just have a big family, and since it's more colder than it is warm here in Indiana, we would just rather use the space that we have. You know, it used to be a parking alleyway there, so we would like to use just the space, you know, just to give our family a bigger family area to be in. You know,
Sounds very sensible.
we keep the maintenance up for them, you know, so I was like, why not try to use it?
Very good.
So what do you plan to use the addition for?
So we have a very, very small kitchen. So we would like to make a kitchen, a dining room, and a family room, and a utility room for that space.
Very good. Any other questions for the board? Does that conclude your comments, Gloria?
Yes.
Thank you. You may step down. Anyone else in favor? Anyone in opposition? We'll close it to the public. Rick, I'll start. You have anything you wanted to comment on?
No comments, sir.
All right, sir, thank you. The board?
How about
We did have a mailing, I'm sorry, right?
Yes.
That's good.
We're
the
all good to
neighbors
go.
been contacted,
Yes, sir.
and are they in approval?
Uh,
No response.
No.
Huh?
No response at all.
No response, okay. So it's gonna be one story, right?
She's not here.
Correct.
Correct.
Okay, one story. Well, I don't know why we need 6 or 3 foot. I like the 6 foot setback myself.
So we would still maintain 6 foot if we had.
Yeah,
three.
but that'd be up to Zimmer or whoever owns that property to do the other 3 foot. And then you have the total of 6 foot, which is the fire code of Indiana.
So you're saying that they have enough room to stay at 6 and still accomplish what they're looking for?
Well, it would cut them back, you know. They're asking for, it looks like 15 feet you want to extend out. So, you know, if you cut 3 foot off of that to comply with what the building and planning department has, then you're
I got the distinct impression from building and planning.
you're down to 12.
They had no problem with the 3 foot,
Well,
and you're objecting to it.
I don't like it,
Fair enough. Any other comments?
but that doesn't mean I won't approve it.
Just when I was missing Rick.
Yeah, well, yeah, where is he?
So quiet.
Right here.
He's here.
Can you hear all that, Rick?
I can, yeah. I appreciate all the kind remarks.
Thank you. All right, with that, any other comments?
I'm gonna make a motion that we go ahead and approve 2020-10-1.
Diane's on motion.
Second.
Seconded Jeff. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone in opposition? Carries unanimously. You're set. 2020-10-02, 2850 Frontier Drive, variance from development standards.
All right. The petitioner has requested a variance from the development standards to deviate from the facade requirements for an addition. Facades greater than 100 feet in length are required to incorporate recesses and projections of a minimum of 4 feet in depth and a minimum of 20 contiguous feet within each 100 feet of facade length. These requirements exist to create more visually appealing commercial districts that encourage greater economic development. The petitioner's addition is planned to have a 225-foot facade with architectural panels matching the existing building. Other appearance-focused design elements, such as accent colors at the corners of the addition, would be used. The addition would be used as a warehouse. See the attached plans for all details. Overall, the addition would be aesthetically cohesive with the existing building and would not conflict visually with the neighboring buildings in the area or across Route 15. See attachment 3. Recommendation. Due to the context of the site and its neighboring proximity to an I-2 district, it is the opinion of the planning department that the board could view this variance favorably.
Thank you, Johnny. Mailing went out.
Yes, sir.
No comments?
None.
Very good, thank you. Questions from the board?
The sketch, I have a problem with the sketch. The aerial view does not show 225 feet. I went out and looked at it, and it just, boy, that's a long building.
It's huge.
So
big
describe,
building.
Johnny, explain facade.
So
What is meant by facade?
it's pretty much just like the frontage of the building, what it looks like
A
from
mask.
the street view.
What?
It's like a mask.
Yeah.
Okay,
I thought I'd use the times.
well, hey, what the heck?
So the idea is that, every building is really just fundamentally a box, and you make it, look prettier on the outside, and you have these requirements that break up that big monolithic box. This would be waiving some of the strict wording of that requirement, which requires it to sort of go in and out at certain points, so sort of decorative elements to make it look less large, less monolithic. Does that
So-
make sense?
Those were painful
Are
discussions.
they going to be using the main entrance on the north side of that building?
That is a question the petitioner might be able to better,
Is that person
Answer.
in the room? Just wave if you are. Fine, we don't need you yet. Not yet. The assumption is that it would be. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
All right, with that, we can, any other comments before we open it up? All right. Sir, you are now welcome to come forward and speak on behalf of your petition.
I actually have my name is Greg DeWeese, I'm with Felderman Design Build. We're the design build firm that's working with OrthoPediatrics on this addition.
Thank you, Greg.
I brought two photographs, one that shows the warehouse addition on it,
Okay,
and the one that shows it as it is currently. And these views are from Detroit Street, if these would be beneficial. I don't know if I can.
Sure.
Yeah, bring them up. We want to see them.
Okay.
just make sure you're sterilized.
Jeez, Tom.
This is about as now.
Well, that's zoning board, we
So that's
can.
what-
Yeah.
You've got to put them together.
I mean, after all, our vice president's lost half his staff. Right?
You gotta hold it for Rick to see too.
So it doesn't show the new structure that's there now.
Proposed and existing.
That's proposed?
Yeah, that's what you actually see from Detroit Street.
Okay, it goes back a long way, I
So
know
it's
that.
behind the current building to the west. So
Yes.
The visual impact is minimal.
Right,
This building.
yeah,
It's
that's
200
true.
feet
Well, I
long.
think their first neighbor is the car wash.
The what?
The car washes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
whoop-de-doo.
It's gotta look better.
But,
All
yeah,
right. Any other questions? Any other comments, sir?
I don't think so. As was mentioned, we're proposing an architectural horizontal rib panel for the building, which is consistent with the existing building. The primary focus visually is the office area up front, which faces Detroit Street.
faces east, yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that is the main entrance.
Yeah, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, this is just used for warehousing.
And the north entrance, as I think was the question, that entrance will still be used.
Probably for employees.
Just for employees only.
Yeah.
And the reason they're asking for this is primarily because it is a warehouse use. Internally, the most efficient, effective layout for the space is straight walls.
Yeah.
And you start getting into offsets and things like that with the warehouse, it creates.
You
some
just lose
hardship
footage.
for them.
They must be
I
doing
see
that.
overhead doors here, is that just strictly shipping, or are we having semis come in there?
No, that's just for shipping.
Where did you?
And they do have the windows, the glass and everything. They do not have semis on there.
This is my stuff.
I didn't
Thank
think.
you. Thank you, Greg.
One,
Any other comments, sir?
5, 6, 7, 8,
Thank you, you may
9.
step down. Anyone to speak in opposition or in
There's
favor
9
of?
sections at
I
24.
did a head count, and I think we're good. All right, we'll close it to the public. Any other comments, concerns, questions?
I'll make a motion, we approve it.
So motion, Dan.
Second.
Jeff seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Rick?
Aye.
Anyone in opposition? I think that carries unanimously.
I think he's home sleeping.
Yeah, well,
At
it
least he's
could
got
happen.
his, at least he's got his
Even
feet
with the
up.
humor we're throwing into
Yeah.
it, you know? 2020-1003, 3501 Lake City Highway, variance from development standards.
All right, this one's got three cases packed in one set of comments, as they're all sort of related. So this will be 2020-1003, 2020-1004, and 2020-1005. The director's comments are all the same document, so. The petitioner has requested a set of variances from development standards in order to build a restaurant with drive-through accommodations. The three requests are as follows. Allow a 5-foot setback as opposed to the required 25-foot front setback. Allow a 3-foot setback from the required 10-foot landscape buffer, and allow a 1-foot setback from the required 10-foot landscape buffer. C3 zoning districts, which is where this is located, are intended to be arterial commercial districts, meaning they accommodate businesses that require large spaces and extend beyond local uses, as well as providing service for traffic passing through the city. The code states that the C3 district should be located along major arterials where adequately sized parcels of land allow for greater setbacks and clear vision, which provide safe ingress and egress. Landscaping standards exist to aid in ecological balance, mitigation of excess noise, glare, heat, and dust, delineation of space and uses, and beautification. The previous land use, a restaurant, did not conform to these development standards. The requested variance and proposed site plan are similar to the existing site. See attachment 1 and 3. The parcel is a triangle shape, which you can see on the presentation. Wrong mouse. All right, there we go.
Not showing.
Which you can see on this presentation
Yeah.
in front and behind us.
Can Rick see that?
It's maybe not. Let me pull it up on here as well.
No.
Thanks, Rick.
One
We're
moment.
trying to make an adjustment for that. You know the property though, Rick, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll make sure.
And I looked at the diagrams on the accompanying
I
paperwork.
was gonna say, I had a little, a little map. Did you get this?
Did you open it up on board practice? It's got a pretty
No, I
good,
didn't. I didn't
Well,
get
I
it.
always print all
I-
this stuff front to back, but
I did, Tom. I saw the sketches
it
earlier.
was in there.
okay. I think we're good, Johnny.
All right. There it is. You should be able to see it now as well. All right.
Report back.
Anyways, the parcel is a triangle shape that prevents unique difficulties for developing within the landscaping and setback requirements set by the ordinance. The recommendation is, due to the unique conditions to the location, as well as the intent of C3 zoning, it is the opinion of the planning department the board could look favorably upon this request.
Thank you, Johnny. Has the mailing went out?
Yes, sir.
Any concerns?
None.
Thank you. Anyone have any concerns about it? The only one I had was just to make sure the egress and traffic flow.
Yeah, that was my concern too, Tom.
Yeah. Having been in that area, you've got
Yeah.
that.
And it's been there for some time,
Yeah.
and I don't think there've been too many accidents there.
No, fortuitously there haven't been, but you know, this looks like it's gonna be a bigger place than we've had there in the past. Right now, across the street is losing some occupancy, obviously.
Yeah,
But that side cut road, that's always,
that's a challenge.
yeah. So did you put all of that into your thoughts as you went through this? I assumed you had. Okay, and you feel comfortable that we're not going to add to a potential problem?
Yeah, and the requested variances don't necessarily change the impact of any of those traffic concerns.
No, I wouldn't think it would. I just wanted to, for me to look at a sketch versus what the detail that you go into, you probably have thought through that, and from what I'm looking at, I assume that's covered.
Yes.
I just want to make sure. Okay, that was my question and concern, and obviously others. All right, with that, is there any other questions, concerns? Rick, did you have anything?
I'm good.
Sounds good, wonderful. All right, we'll open it up to the public. Anyone here that might want to speak in favor of this?
Last but not least.
Could it be the only other person in the room?
The guy in the black shirt.
And you are?
Thank you. My name is Ryan Swanson. I'm with Arc Design Resources. We were the petitioner for the proposed relief items here. We're the civil engineer. I'm representing owner-operator of a franchise that owns a few stores from Fort Wayne all the way up into Wisconsin. So about 15 different stores of this particular franchise. And one thing I want to mention, the question about the traffic is a good question. I've been to the site. I think there was a pizza or a oven
Well, historically, there's been a bar, restaurant there.
Right, but even temporarily, it
And
was
then they
fairly,
had Shoop's, which is a hamburger.
He's talking about the fire.
Yeah, Fire in the Hole's been out there.
Thank
His
you.
truck
And
there.
most recently, Fire in the Hole has leased or rented the space. And
and I did notice even some traffic from that operation. One thing that will improve that, I just want to mention, the circulation for the proposed plan, thank you, will basically allow, and we're gonna tweak this a little bit to make sure there's adequate width, but it'll allow for more of an ingress and then going around the store and then egress. So right now, you don't really have that. You kind of got people just coming in one location and trying to make their way out. So that should make it better make it for better circulation on the site itself. But essentially, we're just looking to redevelop the closed, restaurant, the Sheep's Hamburgers, with a new facade, a new building, basically a brand new building, fitting within this, interestingly enough, a triangular property, almost a perfect triangle. We were a little surprised because we thought even with the GIS, when we looked at this, it kind of followed Old 30 a little closer than this triangle. So we're asking for some relief. The big one obviously is the building setback. That encroaches some, just because we can't push anything further east, or I guess it'd be
yes. it's
that
east,
direction.
Right.
So we ran into some hardships there, and then with the landscape buffering as well, similar hardships in terms of trying to make improvements. But we are adding more green space at the end of the day in a couple of the corners, and basically trying to make sure we use that existing driveway as much as we can, again, for circulation. So
Very good.
that's
At
really
least you
good.
got the drive-through in there.
Oh, yes. Yeah, and you'll see that's actually
A double, isn't it?
a double. Most folks, not just this operator, but most folks are going to the double just because it's more efficient. But yeah, we want to make sure the drive aisles were kept though, with adequate room, and then also we met your parking codes. That was another important thing for employees and customers. So with all that said, we pretty much fit in the site pretty well. Everything being
Good.
equal, yeah. So we're pretty excited about it.
Very good.
I
Any other
always like to
questions
see
or comments?
things out on the east side of town.
Yeah, nice. Nice.
All
Thank
set? Rick?
No comments.
Very good. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
I'm gonna guess there's no one in the audience to speak in opposition.
Question though,
Since there's no audience,
see what restaurant you're doing here? I can. What is it?
And I got one last picture to show just the rendering of it, but it's Popeyes. It's what's
Dramatic
proposed.
review.
I just sent in my application.
Really?
that's funny.
Subject to your, subject to approval, basically, we're looking to start working on our both civil documents and architectural plans. So that'll be, again, subject to approval. That'll be the next step for us.
Well, that's great. I spent enough time watching your commercials that I think the closest is Fort Wayne, isn't it?
Mishawaka might be like half a mile closer from right to right here.
I was gonna say, when I looked, I
It's a good
said,
guess.
I'm not getting there anytime soon.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir, appreciate it. Well, there was no one in opposition, and we're all looking forward to that establishment joining the restaurateurs.
I will make a motion, we approve
So,
2010-03, 2010-04, and 2010-05.
And I will second all of those.
motions for 3, 4, and 5 have been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Rick?
Aye.
Anyone in opposition?
No,
That also carries unanimously. You're all set, sir. Thank you.
very much.
thank you.
Do I have to sign something for him, by the way?
Nice. No kidding, that's gonna be
Nothing?
nice.
Okay, good. All right, last item of the evening is 2020-10-06. 2104 Biomet Drive, special exception. Johnny?
Let's see, the mailings have gone out.
Did you unmute him?
I will in a moment here. Derek, you can go ahead and unmute yourself. We're entering your stage.
Derek, you didn't fall asleep on us for all this excitement, did you?
Sorry, I was trying to figure out how to hit the button. Sorry about that.
He's got it.
You're not alone, sir. I do that a lot. On Zoom, a lot more than I've ever thought I would be. Okay, we're ready to go. We've got
All right, so the petitioner has requested a special exception to allow a wireless communication facility in an I-2. The proposed design is a 149-foot tall monopole. The attached plans include examples of a monopole tower as well as a rendering of the tower if approved. The proposed structure is not within the half-mile distance eligible for co-location. The applicant agrees to allow other providers to attach to the tower and intends to construct the tower for the maximum licensed providers in Indiana. The Federal Aviation Administration has conducted an aeronautical study and revealed that the structure does not exceed obstruction standards and would not be a hazard to air travel related to the nearby airport. The airport manager and the petitioner have spoken about the possibility of affixing a light to the structure to further mitigate any chance of obstruction. The planning department recommends the approval of the wireless communication tower.
Thank you. Mailing, I assume, probably was not, all right, good. Any questions or comments? I think we actually discussed that before the meeting began in the sense that if the FAA is going to approve it, it's
Looks
pretty
like a good
straightforward.
deal.
All right. To the public, I don't think there's too many people to argue with you, sir, so Derek, you're on.
Okay. I'm here representing Verizon Wireless. You kind of stole my thunder a little bit, but we're proposing a monopole in the industrial park north of town, just south of the airport. I did a ton of research about making sure that the monopole would not be in the flight path or the approach path for the airport. There was a study done some time ago. We're proposing it at the Farm Bureau, if you're familiar with that area. We meet all setbacks, meaning not just on the property, but you also have a tower-to-tower setback in your ordinance. As discussed previously, we are agreeable to adding a light, an FAA light to the tower, even though the FAA doesn't require it. Your airport manager did request it, and my client has agreed to attach that to the tower. We are building it for, as mentioned, the 4 licensed providers in Indiana, which these days is Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, and Dish Network is the 4th provider. And so hearing that I have no opposition is really unusual for me. So I'm just going to bask in that for a minute and ask you if you have any questions for me.
Well, once we had the FAA approval and a light on it, I actually was surprised you commented that they didn't request that. That sounds like a pretty interesting FAA question to me, but no, I think we're all set on that. Any other questions, comments?
Nope.
Motion?
I'm gonna make that motion to approve 2020-10-06.
Second.
Motion and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Rick?
Aye.
Anyone in opposition? That carries unanimously. Derek, you're all set. Thank you, sir.
So who was in addition?
Thank you very much.
T-Mobile.
Thank you.
T-Mobile, Verizon, AT&T, and
Dish.
Dish.
And, oh, Dish,
I
okay.
thought Dish was actually part of AT&T.
Yeah, I thought they were.
Derek, thank you for joining us. You're all set. Sorry we didn't take up more of your time. It looked like you were ready for bed there. We can extend the meeting. Oh, wait a minute, there's a football game on tonight. Sorry, never mind.
All right, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
So what do we sign here?
I think I put all agree on that one.
I think we all agreed on that. I haven't signed all 3 sheets yet. Derek, we're all set. Thank you. Other matters that may come before the board? That's you, Jane, none? Very good. We need the last motion.
I make a
Rick.
motion,
Where's Rick?
where's Rick?
I move that we adjourn, Mr. President.
There you go.
I'll second that.
So motion seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
This meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
He needed to make some kind of motion
Yeah,
tonight.
yeah, he's been kind of
You
silent
disconnected
out
your
there.
phone from the meeting.
He's pretty quiet when he's home alone like that.
That's why you guys keep re-electing me. No one else wants to do this.
Really nonverbal.
Kim?